Today we're looking at the manual hydraulic lift version of our universal drum rotator. This model is the stainless steel version, so it's ideal for food and pharmaceutical customers. We've got a Euro pallet here with a steel and a Mauser drum on it, and this unit can straddle the narrow end of the pallet to lift a drum off either side. We can also lift drums off the corner of pallets if we have a square pallet with 4 drums on it. So we've got our band open, so the doors of the band are open, we're ready to receive this drum. We push the unit forward, we can either use the handles or the tiller at the rear. Push it all the way in, so the drum's fully within the band. We then lift off our ratchet strap, and even though the drums are close together, we can simply pass this through the gap to the other side. We then hook it on, like so. We then have to tighten it using this ratchet here. We'll show you a close-up of this. The first thing we do, we pull out any slack. It's important we pull out the slack before we tighten the ratchet. Still holding the loose end, we then operate the ratchet. We don't need to over-tighten it, it just needs to be snug and accommodate the drum. And we then have our rim clamp that grips onto the top lip to prevent the drum sliding in the band. We fit our rim clamp, loosen the top clamp and secure it down. It's good to hold the bottom of the rim clamp under the lip while we're tightening the wing nut on the top. We can adjust this, which we'll show you later on, for the different height drums. Shorter drums we need to move it down, or taller drums move it up. So we've tightened our band first, then our rim clamp, we're ready to lift. Our handle at the back can be a tiller for moving the unit, but there's also our pump handle. So keeping a nice straight back, we do full strokes of the pump handle. It's easy to pump, it doesn't take too much effort, so we've made sure it's ergonomic for all operators. We pull the unit back to move our drum. We'll now get rid of a pallet and we'll tip into this vessel. When lifting, if the unit's moving back and forward, you can always just put a brake on. This just stops the unit moving as you're pumping. So I'll take our brake off, move the unit forward towards the vessel. In this case I'm just going to touch the drum on the vessel and I'm close enough then. Raise up a little bit more, just to full height. I'm going to put our brake on and come round and begin rotation. We've got a gearbox handle on this side. As we rotate it, we empty our drum. Sometimes we need to just push the unit forward to make sure we don't spill any. From where I'm standing, I can turn the rotation handle and I can have a hand on the unit just to adjust the position relative to the vessel. The handle for tipping at maximum height is about at head height. For smaller operators, we may need some steps, or we do offer powered models where the lift is powered as well as a tipping function. I'm going to rotate the drum back. Move our unit back, and then we have our lowering handle. We turn this anti-clockwise to lower the drum down to the ground. The more we open the valve, the faster it will lower. Once the drum's on the ground, we want to remove the drum. So we hold the bottom of a rim clamp and undo our wing nut. Remove it like so. It's the reverse of what we did before. So rim clamp removed first. And then the ratchet, we open it all the way. Release the slack so our strap's completely slack. Remove the front so the drum's fully clear. And in this case, with an empty drum, you can simply slide it out and go get the next drum. We've now got this 220 litre plastic Mauser drum. We could lift it off a pallet, or in this case off a floor. We have our band open, push the unit forward till the band fully goes around the drum. And then we just repeat the process for securing it in. So we take our polyester strap and hook it on the front of the unit. Pull any slack so that the strap's nice and tight before we use the ratchet. With the ratchet secure, take our rim clamp, lift the top up. We want the base of the rim clamp to go beneath this upper lip of the drum. Bring the top over. We may need to slacken this off to move it up for drums with big bulky lips. And then we spin down our wing nut. Like so. Make sure that's nice and tight. So the drum's really secure, ready to go. I'm happy with that. Then pump our handle. Move the drum up towards the vessel, put the brake on to prevent it moving, and then we'll raise it to full height. We're now raised to full height. As you can see with the manual unit, it takes some time to pump the drum all the way up to full height. We make the unit as efficient as possible, but there's a limitation to the physics involved on a manual hydraulic unit. If you're handling more than 10 drums a day, we always recommend powered lift. So you have a power lift option where you simply press a button to raise the drum up to full height. At full height, I'm going to take my brake off. Always take the brakes off with your foot, but wearing a suitable safety shoe. Going to move the unit slightly more forward until it touches the vessel again, like so. And then we've got our rotation handle on this side and we rotate it to empty the drum. It's good to have the brakes off when we're emptying the drum so that we can position and move the unit with one arm while we're rotating. As we pour liquid, we need to make sure it's all going in the vessel, make sure it's all going in the right place. As we bring the drum back, I'm just moving the unit back at the same time. Pull the unit back. We're now ready to tip our next drum. We're now looking at the band assembly of this model. The unit can handle drums from 50 to 220 litres and is fully adjustable. Here's an example of a smaller drum. You can see the diameter is much smaller. The drum's empty for the video purposes, so we can move it in and out. So what we do when we have a drum like this is our arms slide in and out. So I'm going to push the left arm towards this drum, and I'm going to pull the right arm also towards this drum. So you can see we've got a much smaller gap in the middle here, but our band is no longer circular. So what we do is we have two locking pins here. So we hold the band, remove one locking pin and remove the other. We then take each band, one in each hand, each segment, and pull them apart. And we can now see all these different holes we have in the band. We can bring the band and close the pins like so. As you can see, we've got a slightly smaller radius here. I'm going to go one more. So take the bands apart and position them like so. Now this circle here is looking a lot closer to the size we need. Just going to fit our locking pins so the band can't come apart. The band's complete again. I'll bring our drum in. And you can see we've got a much better fit. If we close the gates around the front, you can see that we've now got a circular band, and once we tighten it up and fit our rim clamp, we're ready to lift and tip.